Last year, Dreamcon had 20,000 attendees descend on Austin, Texas for a black-ass anime and gaming convention with mostly no drama. Dreamcon 2024 promised to up the ante that much more. What's happening? It's the Captain. Let's unpack Dreamcon 2024.
Come on, spill the tea.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. Woo. This is light work.
Come on, spill the tea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Dreamcon was a thing until about late 2022, early 2023. It was about then that I had a civilian, not a gamer, a weeb, an otaku, nothing. The type of person that geeks out on the NBA on TNT. They advised me to go. And since I had the time and the opportunity, I booked it. And I was just blown away by everything I saw. All right. It was the turnout, the camaraderie, and honestly, just the comfort that made me buy my ticket for this year's Dreamcon as soon as they went on sale. I even announced publicly that I'd be doing cosplay, and then I had to stand on that when the con approached, and I hadn't done anything yet, so. You clicked on this video because you want me to answer one question. Did Dreamcon 2024 live up to the hype? Long story short, yes. RDC has made this a major event for young black nerds to gather and turn up. But as we'll unpack later, if we don't put checks in place, this con may just become a place where folks go for clout rather than just to connect.
The only thing about lines.
And I'm not a straight line person, I'll tell you that, right?
Well,
I can't see a straight
visually.
line to save my life, to be honest with you. So when I was walking around Dreamcon last year, the cosplay bug bit me. So I spent a good amount of time after Dreamcon 2023 trying to decide who I wanted to be, and I landed on Bishop from the X-Men. Young, smart, black dude doing his thing. Hey, shoo in for me. So I asked my stepmom, who helps my younger sister out with her cosplays, what I should do. We kind of discussed options, and I was one who came up with basically the method that we created the Bishop cosplay for. And I also was the one who kind of slept up until July to make sure I got everything together for a cosplay that needed to be ready by the end of July. So literally the weekend before the con, this is me getting everything started with this outfit, including the painting and the stripe and all that good stuff.
What's going on, y'all? I'm taking a quick break to let the base yellow stripe dry.
You see it, zooted. So I was very ambitious for thinking that we were going to be able to get the entire thing done that night when I showed up to their house around 8 o'clock. That definitely was not the case. Problem was that I'd gotten the wrong type of paint. I picked up fabric paint, which makes sense because I was painting fabric. But the issue with the fabric paint was the paint is actually being soaked in by the fabric rather than sitting on top of it. So as you see right here on the first night, we got this paint and we did an entire yellow line, but then we had to go over that line again and it still wasn't thick enough to sit the way that I wanted it to sit. So had to go back to the drawing board and probably go get some more paint and some more supplies to get it done right. So I went back and got some acrylic paint, which as you see right here, sits on top of the fabric so much better than that fabric paint that I had originally. So I had to go back and observe these lines. As you see here, a problem then occurred with, oh, well, I need to keep these lines clean and not get any paint where it doesn't need to be. Shout out to my boy Dolo who came through to play the new College Football 25. Since I've gotten it, you know I took Georgia State to the Natty and we've realigned to the SEC. Let's go. Niggas get old enough and put their kids on tracks.
Yeah. This is a little coherent, unlike with Drake's song.
Let that boy Adonis get his shit off.
Yeah.
But my battery about to go out, so I'm just gonna continue the stripe up, and then I now have a line of meridian for when we cut off the sleeve. I want enough where it rides up on me, but not too much where it's tight. So I'm gonna make those alterations today, let this paint sit, and be back with more tomorrow.
This was Sunday with the touch-up paint. This is where community comes in heavy. I sent a picture to someone of the update and they said, oh, well, in order to get cleaner lines, don't you want to get some tape? And I said, I do. As you see right here, I'm able to get a lot closer to precision lines. I ain't gonna say it's foolproof because, you know, there were some hits or misses there, but it definitely was a lot better than it was the night before. And I was able to give a lot more detail to the uniform in full. I went for the classic uniform look with the black stripe down in the middle of the yellow stripe, and I think I was able to pull it off. What you think?
All right, and overall the lines are pretty straight. You know, there are some instances where there may be a little bit of bleed over or something like that, but nothing where I'm just like, oh, this is ruined. So this is the stripe that I was so worried about for so long. These are the cuffs. So I think that we're in operable form for this cosplay, my G.
I stayed masked up not only for the flight, but anytime I was indoors for the con. And day -1, I really just got to the hotel and chilled, and then waited for the next day to get everything popping. This is the line for early registration the day before the con. The reason I traveled early this year is because last year there was a boat party I wanted to attend this year. They didn't have it, not that I'm aware of, so kind of came in on a dub. But I was able to get in here and get my badge. Even though this is what the line looked like, I will say that it didn't take me as long as it looks like it's going to take. But that was only the early registration line. We ain't even made it to the con yet. We in there though. You already know. And then I got fresh to go to a YouTube party that night. That was at an arcade that also served food and liquor. Now here's my thing. This was my first event that I was ever invited to as a YouTuber. So I didn't know how much I wanted to record of me actually meeting and greeting people. You know, doing the awkwardness that is networking, talking to different type of people. So I didn't include it. But I got to meet a couple different creators who were in town, not only just stationed there in Austin, but also in there for Dreamcon. Shout out to RDC, of course. Shout out to Shira. Shout out to your boy Roshi. Shout out to Dwayne and Jazz. Shout out to Tasha. And definitely shout out to everybody that was a part of the YouTube party. I wish I could have gotten to the YouTube lounge in the con. That's one thing that I know that I'm going to try to focus on this upcoming year, and increasing my own access, I guess I'll say, to spaces. Because I'm here. I might as well make use of it. Shout out to my player partner, Lila Bobina. She was one of my first follows on Twitch, and we got to hang out during Dreamcon. And then I got to see Chell, who I'm also in a grocery gang with, so it's good to see her. That night, we went to a Blurs Unite party. We also got up with some people from the Black Unity Guild. And then we also linked with Big Creator to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. It was okay. The next day, it was time for some action. So I got into my Nanami cosplay and got ready for Dreamcon Day 1. I don't think this does justice of how many people were there, because this was the crowd meandering right before what was to be the opening event. I ain't even get into the opening ceremonies, and I'll show you why.
Fucking infamous vortex. You walk into a room and it's a whole line all around the room. It's a line and a line and a line to get into the fucking. That's crazy.
Last year, RDC got flack from just being disorganized. So this year, they stepped their game up not only in person, but also online. You see all level of events happening here, from the big events all the way down to the things that are just going on at the time. Another contingency plan they put in place to make things better was that you needed to RSVP for certain events. That didn't stop people from trying to jump into line or get into those events, but it should have mitigated that. And I think they did a lot better with that this year than they did it in 2023. Since I missed the opening ceremony, I had the chance to just float all day until the event that I really wanted to attend happened that night, and that was the Geechee Bee. Shout out to the Geechee Gamer. You know your boy had to get right. This was also the night of the Grown and Sexy party, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The Geechee Bee is like a spelling bee, but also with penalties and tasks you need to do to kind of liven things up. And it's very competitive. Shout out to the Geechee Gamer over there cosplaying as a pimp named Slickback. She's on her shit, and it's good to see this event grow from last year to this year. And I can't wait to see what she does next year.
Subpoena. Hold on, let me get my apparatus while I spell this for you. SUPPOENA. Thank you.
And this is me looking sad in the club because I'm at the Grown and Sexy party, and yet no one is looking grown or sexy. Let's talk about it. My issues are this. Number one, if it's a themed party, follow the theme. Let's just lock that in. Number two, if you're at the con all day, go back to your room and wash your ass before you go to the club, please. And number three, this has more to do with the actual promoters than anything. Please put details about what people are buying on the information they're buying, please, because there's an upstairs part that of this club that I had access to last year that I didn't have access to this year, and would have loved to have that information during the purchase of the ticket, but that's just me. I got tickets to these themed parties from LAN Party, assuming that people were going to be on theme, and that wasn't the case. I did not go to the Trap Sushi parties because I've had bad experiences in the past. That's just me though. Do you? With it being day 2, it was now time to reveal my big project. Let's see how it turned out. As a V1, I really like it. Now, there are some things that I could do differently. I think you can see some of the paint around the edges that I could have touched up, but overall, I think it's a great place to start from, and I'll probably do this again, just differently. My first big event in the big room was Black Jeopardy, which granted me a little bit more access than I thought I was going to get.
Listen, my name is Kev on stage. Today we are. Oh, yes, gas me up. Okay, look at your boy out there, Phil. Let me see. Phil, you feel me? Listen, we're about to play Black Jeopardy.
You get the humor of a Kev on stage, plus the RDC guys and other famous creators, and then their competitiveness on top of that. It was a great event. I really enjoyed it. How do people come up with these ideas and then execute them? I don't know. The Artist Alley is where I end up spending a lot of time during cons, especially downtime, to figure out, hey, if I'm going to spend some money, where am I going to spend some money and what is it going to be on? And it wasn't prop guns for me. There's a lot of different artists in the Artist Alley with a lot of different types of merch. They've got clothes, they got figurines, they got some cards. I got some cards. They got all kind of anime stuff, all kind of manga stuff, and just nerd stuff in general that people would like.
Second ever Bay Brigade battle live, and we're on the main stage.
Major shout out to SMB. I really enjoy this even when we're on stream doing it, but live is so much better.
Thank y'all so much for being here. If you're not familiar with how this goes, y'all know what the versus battle is, right? This is Nether, y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. Thank you for pulling up.
So here's the issue. As big of a fan as I am, I put the camera down and I was in here moving and grooving when we got turned, y'all. She had the two teams going back and forth, picking which song was better than the other, and really the crowd was the deciding factor more often than not. It was not usually an open and shut case, but that crowd would push it one way or another, man. So definitely had some smaller people there, some attendees, definitely had some bigger people there. You see Burleezy, you see Cleo, and SMB, man, just amazing event year in, year out. Can't wait to see where you take it next. It's awesome being a fan of someone on stream and then getting in person and seeing them do their damn thing. I ain't too much about to lie to you. This was my favorite fit. Yeah, got a cowboy hat and a vest. I feel like a real outlaw right now. Went to a Twitch Black Unity Guild kickback after the party, but we really just enjoyed the day. Yeah, Dreamcon is one of the only places that I've been where you can go from listening to Sheck West to anime openers while Bayonetta and Mario and Yoshi are twerking right next to you, and it makes sense and it's melanated. By now, you may have seen the footage of this IRL or in real life streamer walking through the artist alley of Dreamcon, being disrespectful to cosplayers, attendees, vendors, RDC themselves, and nerds everywhere. So let's just unpack this, all right? First off, let's just be real. The type of cat who pays money to travel to and attend an anime and gaming convention just to try to shit on anime and gaming fans, super lame. We don't even have to look too deep into that. You don't look cool to anyone of import except for the incels that are in your chat, bro. You haven't even seen the fine ass women that are in attendance at the con because you're not there trying to enjoy yourself. You're trying to be seen, and people can pick up on that. There's a lot of that going around, actually. With all the panels, parties, and people, there's a lot of opportunity to connect with people of all backgrounds. Hell, I got to meet the homie Thumbtack this year. People of all fandoms, of all walks of life. But how many people are genuinely trying to meet new people or their people? And how many are trying to get put on? And at a con, you certainly can get access to specific panels and events. But one thing I'd also add, especially specifically for Dreamcon, is that you could also get proximity to some pretty big creators. I'm talking about being right next to a Leland or a Mark from RDC, or being able to even chop it up with a Tony Stadavici, right? And that's pretty unique. I feel like that's a pretty unique draw for Dreamcon. But it begs the question, is someone like a Burleezy even able to have fun in a place like this? I mean, I know it's work, but you got to be able to have fun a little bit. And also, shout out to bruh. He was going from panel to event to hosting this event to being in this other event to this party. And he had the utmost professionalism throughout. So shout out to him. The last day of the con looked like brunch with the big creator crew who came out for Dreamcon. Also went to one last panel with Leon Thomas, Najee Jeter, and Cleo. Then I had to bid Leela Bobina adieu. This really encapsulates Dreamcon to me. This guy was trying to get a photo op of him killing all of these characters, and then that turned into a debate about why some characters may be spared. Nerds. And then I went to Stubbs, y'all. I swear, every time I talk to somebody who lives in Austin which barbecue spot to go to, they always gave me a different one or the mainstream one. And the Stubbs was the one I went through this year. The turkey was good. I was satisfied. The end. Man, I had a great time. My experiences are going to have me reliving Dreamcon more than any of the merch that I bought. I did get this chest bag with these patches on the front and a box of Digimon cards because this was the only Digimon thing they had at the entire con. But my favorite piece was this windbreaker that I got at the YouTube party. Overall, Dreamcon 2024 was a success to me. I was in the cut, but I got to pop out and do things that I wanted to. I want to give a shout out to my dog, Lila Bobina, who I finally got to connect and hang out with for a few days. Also, shout out to not that Nessa, but that Nessa for being out and about and enjoying herself. Like I said earlier, I got the link with the homie Thumbtack. Shout out to Casey Nelson and the rest of the big creator crew. And on that note, I want to thank you, Preem, for all of your hard work. There were a few creators that I am a fan of that I did not get to chop it up with too long. One that comes to mind, K. Dot. I also want to give out a shout out to Betty Nix. Betty, next year we're gonna have to take a picture together because I feel like this is 2 years in a row that we've seen each other in passing. Lexual. And then there were hella creators that did not get to come this year that I definitely would like to see in the future, whether it's at Dreamcon or any other con, all right? Next year, I'm looking for all of the opportunities that appeal to me and jumping on early. As with everything associated with Dreamcon, sure to sell out fast, all right? Dreamcon 2025 will be in Houston, Texas, due to renovations at the Austin Convention Center. I can't wait to touch down in the H-Town. I got family out there, and you already know, it'll be jumping. So, once again, I'm CapnTrippz, and holla.